Hey, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back to YouTube, back with some more OCE action. And in our last video, we did see round 1 of Equilibrium, a 1v1 event from Dead by OCE, and this time around, we're down to 8 competitors. We're going to be seeing the quarters, semis, and finals, and just like in round 1, every round does have a unique pool of killers to be selected from. We did actually have one of our competitors that had to drop last second, so we will only be seeing 3 quarterfinal matchups with Miji getting the bye. Don't forget, every like, comment, share, that all helps us out with that good old YouTube algorithm, which means you can help us spread the word about competitive DBD and help get our content in front of more people. All right, we're also chasing down 500 subs over here on the channel, where we do post like every other day here recently. Everything from competitive DBD, conversational videos, even like fun builds and gameplay, all right? So make sure you smack that button down below and then tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody about it. If you do want to keep up with what Dead by OCE has going on, as always, I'm going to have their Discord as well as their live stream link down in the description below. That way you can come catch the action live. But let's go ahead and get to Equilibrium action. That's what y'all clicked on the video for. And until we do catch y'all back over here on the YouTube, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love harder. All right, y'all, it's your boy Q, signing out. All right, what it do, everybody? It is Saturday. It's time to get down and actually do what it do here. We've got the quarters, the semis, and the finals here for Equilibrium, and I can't wait because it actually looks like here through the quarterfinals, we're going to be seeing quite a bit of the demo dog, which should be quite a bit of fun. Appreciate everyone coming in, hanging out with us here tonight. And, you know, kicking with me on the desk today is going to be one of OCE's finest, SeaBass. How you doing, buddy?
Yo, I'm doing very well, thanks. How about yourself?
Man, I'm chilling. I can't wait to get into these matchups. We saw a lot of fun, you know, kind of typical M1 action yesterday. I had a lot of fun seeing a lot of the Wraith on Larry's yesterday, personally. And seeing kind of a lot of the mind games coming out. So now that we're kind of down to, I guess, what, with it being the quarters, it's our top 8. Yeah, things should be getting spicy. I can't wait.
We're going in with some somewhat stronger, maybe more unique or more mechanically skilled killers. This pool for the second round had the Hillbilly, the Cenobite, and the Demogorgon were the 3 options there. But in all 4 of these matchups, we had the Demogorgon that was chosen, and the other 2 killers were banned. So we're going to see a lot of Demogorgon here on the Dead Dog Saloon. I just want to talk about the perk options real quick. The main building on this map is notorious for being a spot to juice the killer, especially an M1 killer like the Demogorgon. So I have allowed Bamboozle and Hex Crowd Control as the 2 options that the demo will take. And so I'm very curious to see which perks will be chosen.
Yeah, it's gonna be intriguing here. I especially really like with man, especially when you're talking about against the demo. I don't know. I feel like, first off, I gotta say, when you talk about the killer pool, I thought maybe at least one Billy was gonna jump in here. So do you think it's just because of like the kind of ambiance since the demo's kind of been taken out of the game? Do you think that's kind of what everyone draws to demo, or do you think there's something else about the demo that makes people want to bring them out in the 1v1? Because we don't see demo dog much in comp, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like because there were a few Billy mains that made it to this round. But unfortunately for them, they all had Hillbilly banned by their opponent. So
right. I mean, kind of makes sense, right?
And then we had Dixie, who does play Billy, but banned Billy himself. So
wait, what?
Yeah, but regardless, both of these players are very strong Demogorgon players, so it makes a lot of sense.
We do see here Greendean starting off here, working around the main building. That back window is still going to be bamboozled off here, so you're going to have to work down along the backside. Don't think you're going to be able to make it to the pallet here before taking the M1, unfortunately here. So we're already talking about 1 health state change, but once we get across here to these like little broken down buildings, I mean, you can have a decent amount at your disposal, depending on how quick Dixie here decides to break down that breakable wall here. So, swing and miss at the window though.
Beautiful play by Greendean. Now, this loop can be very nasty for the survivor with crowd control. I'll explain why. So that window that Greendean just vaulted, if you vault that and it gets blocked, you're kind of zoned outside the tile.
Right,
So it was very smart of him to do the slow vault and not activate the perk. You can see that Greendean's really been preparing for this event.
You know, I didn't even think about that as far as with the slow vault scene there. That actually makes a lot more sense, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he knew about that.
Yeah, I wonder if that was just like a, don't want to find out the hard way, so just if I have time to slow vault it, I might as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good first chase, though. I mean, we're talking about 68 seconds here. And I don't think we used any pallets, did we? One, maybe.
No, we didn't. However, Dixie has not broken the door upstairs in the main building, so that leaves a really good opportunity for Greendean to reuse that, and that's exactly what he's going to do right now. Oh no!
We also have the take that with you, says Dixie with the hit through the window. I was gonna say we still have that. I think that the wall down on the bottom side too that could be broken up to kind of help maneuver around the bottom side here, but we're going to see that window now going to be broken up, so it kind of takes the strength of at least the top side of this loop here. So we're now moved to our little pallet right out front. It's going to be interesting. I thought maybe we'd stick around for a mind game, but instead just breaking all the way over to water tower, it looks like.
Yeah, this could be a down very quick, it looks like. Greendean is unfortunately not being able to use these pallets away from main. He's getting zoned very effectively by Dixie.
So I'm going to be interested. I mean, so the good thing here, kind of talking about how we had mentioned the same thing after the first chase. I mean, there's a lot of resources available on the map here at this point. Maybe you can put yourself on a juice run, because right now we're looking at 1:52 of total chase time here.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, though, I don't know if I would be surprised if all of our matchups were kind of lower counts on the chase time. I mean, with the demo dog's ability to kind of one, shred through pallets when they are thrown, and two, just to be able to minimize the distance with the shred ability just in itself. And we've seen our killers be really strong,
with the perk crowd control that just lets Demo take care of a lot of his weaknesses. He doesn't have to worry about the window mind games. He can just let the survivor vault walk around the loop and they are dead.
That was a really nice mind game at that window there to be able to actually fake it in. Another fake here.
Beautiful
I think
fake.
we do actually have him coming around though, so we go ahead and take the window. That's where we're going to be seeing it blocked off by the crowd control. Not sure if Greendean's going to be able to make it to this other tile. Oh yeah, because this pallet's
It's unfortunate for Greendean.
You know what's interesting is I don't think we used the gallows side at all, or shack pallet. No, we didn't use that whole quadrant of the map at all. That was very interesting. We didn't see really anything on that quadrant over there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that left side of the map is very difficult for the for the survivors to run against a Demogorgon with the very unsafe filler pallets, and they can get zoned very easily.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that as you had mentioned. That's a really good point, actually.
Yeah, so generally the strategy on this map is to either go main or go to the shops. And once all the pallets at the shops are used, you just run out the clock at main.
What, then if you can, maybe link it into shack just whenever you're up by the water tower in the shops?
Yeah. Shack's a really good pallet to greed because it lets you get to any part of the map when you're later in your chases.
Of course, on this map, though, Shack isn't quite as strong of an asset as it is on other maps once that breakable wall is taken down, right?
Yeah, that's true. But with crowd control, it doesn't really give the killer much reason to actually break that wall.
Yeah. I keep forgetting about the whole crowd control aspect.
Yeah, it's quite a strange perk for sure.
So we're gonna be seeing switching sides here now. So we're going to be seeing Dixie coming out on the survivor side. Now, of course, with having the control, it's having the control of the other person's time being the killer versus just, you two going against the same killer. Do you think that starting off with the 2 minutes and 37 seconds of total runtime, do you think that's Dixie's feeling decent right now, or do you think they're feeling a little bit of pressure needing to at least have one run as we had seen Greendean? I mean, we had 2 runs, basically 45 seconds or less. Do you feel like there's pressure to have to get one of those like minute runs in here in the first 2 chases?
I don't know, man. It's around that time where if Dixie makes some critical mistakes early on and gets hit early, gets some short chases, it could actually be close. Especially knowing that Greendean is a tried and true Demogorgon player who has been playing for quite a long time, since back in the day, playing comp games of Demo. He's good with those insta shreds. He doesn't mess up. So I don't know. Yeah, it could be tough for Dixie, but also Dixie is a very competent survivor.
So if I spawn into the 1v1 and I'm next to the crowd control, I just break it and GG easy, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna see here, instead of actually wrapping around the pallet, I like the idea. You do the initial kind of tuck like you're gonna wrap around, and then you just go ahead and, you know, slap them with +10 wood, and it allows you to build big distance.
Dixie did that exact same thing against me in some practice games earlier, so I was kind of expecting that. Very cheeky play.
I also really like the whenever you see the alert perk coming out during the 1v1s, because it's interesting to see the different players being able to capitalize on the information that they get from that perk and when they get it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very underrated perk. Even just in terms of telling you where the killer's heading after they break a pallet, especially a killer like Demogorgon that breaks pallets very often. It gives you that time on the shop side of this map. Oh, what a nice stun! But yeah, when you're in the
just
shops,
barely missed too.
sometimes it's very difficult to know where the Demogorgon is with all the line of sight blockage. So alert just really helps there.
And we see here, I mean, doing a really good job working this main building right now. I mean, this is kind of one of those chases we were talking about. Dixie, needing nice reach there as far as with the M1 on the drop down, at least able to get the first health state change here. Now going to be able to use that vault to at least build a little bit of extra distance. Not sure if you make it to this pallet over here, you can at least green out the lunge. Oh, but a good job blocking off the pallet space in the down.
Well played.
Oh, man. Yeah, really good job by Greendean there with like, basically you put yourself in the win-win with the lunge, right? Either you get the down in the pallet space, even if it's like a pixel perfect like drop, you're probably just gonna be, unless it's a pixel perfect drop, I should say, you're even shredding the pallet if they get there. Or in this case, you know, where Dixie swings wide to avoid the shred, you know, you're just right there in the pallet space to be able to block it off. Really well done by Greendean.
I love to
29 seconds.
This is crazy. It's one of the things that people really love about the Demogorgon is that his shred attack has a lot of versatility, but it locks you in place, which gives the survivors that short period of time where they can dodge out, and it makes for some really fun gameplay.
Yeah, especially once that interaction kind of starts, and especially when in these scenarios where you know that they are survivors that aren't just solely relying on the sound of hearing the shred coming, but actually like looking behind them and trying to counterplay it. You know what I mean?
Right,
But we see right now though, our demo dog doing a really good job of playing patient, but even with playing patient and not allowing the stuns, I mean, right now Dixie doing a good job of making sure they're maintaining that separation here. Going to be moving back to main. Actually, they're not even going to be able to make it all the way back to main, but with this pallet still being broken, should actually be able to move to our 4 lane here in the shops across the way. I think, I mean, basically, if you get a 1 and 8 second chase here on this one, you're good to go. Oh, Patience played at the stairs too.
Yeah, those. I was surprised that Greendean didn't use any of those upstairs areas. They're quite good. Dixie. What?
Were we possibly past the time? I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna have to sort that one out.
All right, give us a second here to check that out. I'm not sure if maybe we had a misclick, maybe just as they were going past the hatch. So give us a second to check on that in the background, and we'll be back after a very quick break. All right, let's go ahead and take another trip on back into the fog here for a third chase. So you are going to be seeing, we're going to be running a third 1v1 here, kind of like we always do. But since the unfortunate jumping into the hatch did cause the map to reset. There is going to be a 15-second penalty because of that. However, you're already like really good on chase time, so as long as you have a 20-second chase here, you're pretty well good.
Yeah, Dixie has successfully completed the game and defeated the entity by escaping through the hatch.
Oh man, that was.
He's clearly the better 1v1 juicer by that.
It was. I think we were trying to figure out what happened. I think if his bind for his hatch is the same as his dropping, I think he was probably panicking to drop the pallet in time and happened to then just turn around and drop right into the hatch. Just very unfortunate placement there. But I mean, we see here at this point, just continuing the juice over here in the shop. So I believe at this point we should have met our 20 seconds-ish that we were needing as far as for chase time when we take into account the 15-second penalty that will be applied to this chase here itself. So that should be Dixie moving on as far as into the semifinals, which I believe they will be going against the Miji, correct? Is that how that works?
That is correct, yes.
So we've already got semifinals matchup number 1 set up here. Which is exciting. What do we got for these times?
That should be 51 seconds, including the penalty for Dixie. So that is a win for Dixie, and he's progressing to the next round.
Fantastic. So I'm going to be interested to see what comes out as far as the pick for the first matchup between Miji and Dixie. Our pool for the round number 3, in case anybody's curious and is wanting to keep it in the back of the mind. Because we had killer pools for our other 3 rounds. So they'll be picking between the Huntress, the Pyramid Head, and the Artist. So I'll be interested. Are we going to have them probably starting to pick that in the background while we finish up these last 2 matchups, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Fantastic. But we're going to go ahead and get Mayho and Filthy coming in next. And as we discussed, I believe all of our matchups here in the quarterfinals are going to be a demo dog. So give us a second to get that lobby set up to for y'all, and we'll be bringing that quarterfinal matchup after a quick break. All right, let's go ahead and take another trip here back into the fog, back on the deadest of dogs here. I gotta say, I've always loved the map here, especially when you're looking to see the sunset off on the distance here. But gonna be starting things off here, gonna be seeing, as we had mentioned before, the demo dog once again here, and gonna be starting things. Looks like we're actually be going right towards the main building right away. So I'll be interested to see how quickly both of our killers here try to decide to break up the main building. I feel like both of our killers last round kind of waited a little while on that.
Yeah, I'm noticing a common trend in where the survivor chooses to run at the start of the chase.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think part of that's going to be you had mentioned, right, the good strength on this tile here, and this time around going to be noticing that's going to be just right around the outside the door, since that was actually broken up right away this time. So this time though, we actually are going to be able to break away, and actually we're going to be seeing, we didn't see much chase taken back here. You had mentioned kind of a lot of these filler pallets back more on the gallows side and behind the main building being a little bit harder to work against a demo dog, but going to be going for it. That was a swing and able to get a connection there as well. So at least you get the speed boost over here though.
Very good decision of Mayho to not break that pallet and to just be patient and walk around it, knowing that as a 4.6 killer, he will easily get that hit on that very weak pallet.
Yeah, now we're going to be seeing moving back towards these shops over here, and I'll be interested. Ooh, not going to be able to make the lunch here as far as with our first set of the shred. Question is, which window did we decide to play some games at? Going to be showing some. Oh my goodness gracious with the nodders. Oh, you know what, guys?
Proud boy.
Yeah, it's a proud boy. That was a hit. I'll tell you what.
Man, Filthy must have been shaken out of his pants there. That was.
So, would you say that was a pretty filthy hit then, or? Let's go. All right. So what?
Okay, let me update the times. Hold on. I have to do that.
So I can't even do it with him this first time. So that's gonna be our first chase. Good first chase though. Minute and 19 seconds here.
Not bad considering that he still has quite a bit of the map left. He only really used main and a few of the fillers around it, and then briefly came to the shop. So he has a lot of pallets leading down to the water tower. And he still has the shack pallet, I believe. So
Yeah, you've got shack pallet. I think you've still also got the pallets that's in front of main here. Yeah, it's right here. You can still work with it. Granted, isn't the strongest of tiles against a demo dog that has that shred ability and is able to get, you know, all the way around the long side of that tile, but it is still something you can work with. And when you talked about the fillers, I think the only fillers we had to use were the ones on the back side of the shops, which means, like you talked about, you have a lot of range to kind of work around here. Was playing a little risky game, going for the fastball. Don't know if you were able to make this window. This is going to be...
Oh! And that's the WA to NZ connection right there.
Not like this, bro. Oh, no. That's going to be our second down here. So we do have one more to go, 38 seconds. So we do see that Mayho did a good job of mitigating the length of the first chase by getting a really short second chase. And actually, that is, if we look at it as far as from the killer perspective, the shortest chase yet so far today by Mayho. So, you know, honestly, shout out to Mayho.
Yeah, we're going to hope for Filthy's sake that he's able to make it around to Shack and around to Water Tower and use those decent pallets between there. And also that pallet at the gallows, right next to the gallows as well. Because if he ends this chase without having used those pallets, that would be quite disappointing for him.
Yeah, I mean, hit there. At this point, we are going to be seeing retreating at least back more towards the water tower itself. I think we should be able to, at minimum, make the water tower pallet. The question is, what do you do from here, right? I mean, the shred does at least force the demo dog enough.
He does have that loop, which is quite a good loop. Crowd control gets the window out quickly, but it is a bit difficult for the demo where we might have to break a few walls. And that was a scary moment. Did he just greed the? Oh, he already used. He
already threw it, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was still up too, but I saw it on the ground because I was gonna say if you could throw that pallet and then link it back to that very strong tile you were talking about, but with that pallet now being down, you're kind of just stuck with making do with what you can do, and you don't have much to work with here, unfortunately. And I don't even know if you're gonna be able to make this vault. Oh, swing and a miss. There's the connection. And that is going to be the end of our third chase.
Delaying the inevitable here. That's what happens on this map when all the decent pallets have been used. You kind of just have to go to some filler in the middle of nowhere and do your best. But yeah, an impressive performance from both sides.
So with chase number 3 here being 1 minute and 10 seconds, we're talking about Filthy overall with 3 minutes and 7 seconds of chase time. So not a bad benchmarker, definitely a better benchmarker than we had seen Greendean be able to put up in our last matchup. But if Mayho is able to come out and put up a performance somewhere around the Dixie range, that will be enough for Mayho here. So it's going to be, I feel like the pressure, I want to say the pressure's on Filthy, but I feel like the pressure's really on when it comes to chase number 1 here, right?
Yeah, he does have an average that's just over 1 minute. So it's definitely beatable, and considering the fact that we might see some Filthy Pocos here with the NZ now. So he might be getting those similar hits that Mayho was getting on him, so we never know. If he plays his cards right, could get some quick chases.
I think the big thing that's going to be interesting to see, I feel like, so we had mentioned at the start of that last trial how Mayho broke the breakable wall up at the top of main relatively quickly. And I feel like what that led to was Filthy not really using main building quite as much as we had seen either of our 2 players in the last matchup between both Greendean and Dixie. So I'm wondering if maybe, is that the secret juice to be able to avoid that main tile from being used so much?
Yeah, it might just be a safer idea to just get that breakable wall out of the way, knowing that if a survivor goes up there, you'll be able to catch up with them and zone them to a very bad position.
So I feel like if you're coming up the stairs that way, I mean, I think I don't play as much demo. Are you able to kind of aim a shred from the stairs and hit that breakable wall so you're using less time?
Yeah, you're gonna have to charge the shred at the top of the stairs pretty much. Yeah, might as well go for the M1.
Gotcha. Well, I just meant as far as when you get to the top of the stairs, because the shred breaks the walls too, instead of having like walk up to it and break it. Because it takes time to have to break that breakable wall down. So I understand where the killers would be coming from in the sense of, oh, I don't want to take the extra, 4 to 5 seconds to break the breakable wall in chase number 1, because that's very valuable time, but that's time off of chases 2 and 3, right? So
and it does put the survivor in a very strong position with, especially if they're using the perk alert, and they have a lot of time to react to whatever mind game the killer does after breaking the wall. They can make their way to shops, they can stay at main and continue running around. They have a lot of options. But unfortunately, it's just too risky to leave that main building the way it is for the second and third chases. So it's probably just the safer play to get that out of the way.
It does look like we're going to have just an extra second here as far as setting up the second half of this matchup here. DBD tings, but... So what, we've got this matchup, and then the next we're going to have you and Aimer, which should be exciting.
Yeah, very exciting.
And then we'll be moving on to our semis. I see we've already got our semi-killer pick. I'm not going to divulge that just quite yet, but that should be exciting to watch.
Yeah.
So our days moving along quite nice. Our weekends start off to a good, well, I say our weekends off to a good kick. It is like, start the morning for me. But
right. And I'd just like to announce while we're at it that we're going to have a loser finals just before our grand finals of this tournament. So our 2 people who get into the semi-finals and lose those matches are going to verse each other for the 3rd place.
Nice.
That's very exciting. And it's going to be a Nurse Spirit and Blight killer pool.
I will be interested to see what killer ends up getting selected there. I almost feel like I have a sneaking suspicion, probably Blight, right?
Yeah, I feel like Blight's one of the more popular. Blight or Nurse. Spirit will probably get a banned, I'd assume.
Yeah, I would imagine Spirit gets banned first, and I would even just assume when you go to the other side, you'd rather have a Blight that you can at least see which way they're coming from versus a Nurse who can just, blink through walls and stuff. You know what I mean? I feel like me as if I'm playing against on the survivor side,
Yeah. But to be fair, Blight is going to be on the Blood Lodge, which is a map that players might not be very familiar with, as it hasn't been used for a very long time in comp on Blight or on any killer for that matter in OCE. So I'm not sure if our Blight players will be used to that map. Let's see.
Yeah, we just recently saw it used elsewhere, but while we're moving into this chase, I thought we were going to already see a shred coming here, but now at this point going to be throwing that back pallet. Of course, now already moving to that part of the shops back more towards the water tower. I would imagine that's going to be us seeing Mayho more avoiding that portion of the map from here out, because you don't really have much, right? Trying to corner up, unfortunately not going to be the move and taking up for sure M1. All right, so now this is going to be tough, right? Because, of course, now your demo dog is able to land the shred across the backside of the cart if they want to, or you just got the mind game with you being a 4-6 killer. Went for the shred, not going to be able to make a connection. So Mayho with a pretty strong first chase here. Going to go for the front.
Oh.
Nice shred, though, here to be able to get the down here from Filthy. Really nice hit.
Yeah, so that was a 58-second chase. This could actually be quite close here.
Yeah, that's a good start
close to
here.
The average for Filthy.
And you figure the first one there we used, I don't want to say a lot of pallets, but I mean, I don't really know if I would feel comfortable taking chase up towards water tower much at this point with the pallet in the shop up that way being already down. I mean, unless you want to use just the water tower, but then you're kind of stuck in a dead zone unless you can make it to shack. So I mean, you've kind of weaken the map a little bit. We do still have the main building that we can work with here. Nice hit before we're able to make the vault into main here. So Filthy already putting some pressure down. Of course, that door up at the top of main, I was gonna say, is still intact. Now going to be seeing it come into play here. Interesting though, because I think, wait a minute, I think we actually might have been able to lose track just a little bit, but of course we do want to make sure that we stay in the chase there so we're not losing our timer. It does look like Filthy might have... Yeah, there we go. Filthy's coming around back towards Shaq. We do see the scratch marks here at this point, so once that chase me... Oh, I thought we were going to have him peeking right around here in the shack itself.
I'll just clarify the rules for these situations real quick. If the killer loses the survivor for more than 10 seconds, the timer gets paused at the 10-second mark, and it'll begin once they're back in chase. So, just in case you're a sneaky survivor with urban evasion, Claudette who tries to hide in a bush on this map, it's probably not going to work out too well for you.
So in the cases like that there where they didn't really like lose the chase, it's just they kind of got to the point where they had a big dip, like that timer kept running there, yes?
Right, yeah.
Right.
It just got paused after 10 seconds.
Right. All right, so that's going to be chase number 2 here. So it's all going to... All
right, so that's going to be a 42-second chase, looks like. So
Mayho's
going to have to do a 1 minute, almost 1 minute 30 chase here.
Yeah, it's going to be a really long chase needed, and we've kind of... I mean, already started to create some dead zones, right? And it's in the sense of where we've got some of our critical pallets down. We've also already got main building broken up. You're already injured. This is gonna be close. I mean, we're gonna be seeing Mayho try and rotate back here, but this is one of these filler pallets that's kind of like you talked about on the backside of the gallows. Not that strong. Nice move here though to be able to avoid the shred. Oh, not going to be able to find connection with the pallet. Yeah, at this point, you're just going to have to try and create as many LOS blockers as you can. Try to avoid the shred. There it is going to be in there. I don't think that was quite that minute and a half run needed there. We'll have to wait to see an official time, but I believe...
All right, so it's just come in that was 41 seconds, which leaves Mayho at 2 minutes and 21 seconds in total, and Filthy at 3 minutes and 7 seconds. So it will be Filthy moving on to the next round here.
That is that's impressive. Also worth noting that that's Filthy moving on with limiting his opponent to the lowest of times thus far at 2 minutes and 21 seconds. That's impressive. Really good work on the demo dog.
Yeah.
So that means now here we've got our last matchup, which means I'm going to have to be doing this thing solo, I guess. I don't think they're going to allow you to cast it while you play, unfortunately. Although that would be pretty impressive. So we're going to be having Bazzy versus Ama here next. This is going to be our last quarterfinal matchup. We're going to be back on the Deadest of Dogs with some demo dog action after a very quick break. All right, let's go ahead and take another trip here back into the fog, back on the Deadest of Dogs. Gonna be watching the demo dog. It's gonna be interesting. It's our last quarterfinal matchup here. As we talked about heading into things, gonna be seeing Bazzy versus Amer. I gotta be honest. We are gonna be seeing here early. Amer's coming out with the Atom, and I feel like if you're coming out with the Atom, you know, I'm expecting the juice. I gotta be honest, all right? So we're gonna be seeing here, moving pretty quickly here in towards main building, as we've seen a lot of our survivors do thus far through the 1v1. Oh, we did see Bazzy attempt that trick that we were talking about, trying to go for the shred up at the top of the stairs. Didn't quite work out. And then we are going to be seeing, of course, the aura with the alert, which is going to allow Amer to just to continue to work all the way around main building and then back down towards the actual street itself. Of course, Demo Dog being a 4-6 killer, going to be able to close that distance relatively quickly here. So Amer's going to go ahead and move back over towards our shops right across the street. And you can notice still has a decent amount of distance between them and Bazzy, so should be able to make this window without a problem. But I believe that was Bazzy breaking up that breakable wall back there. Yep, there's that alert from that there. Now moving actually back a little bit closer towards our water tower itself. The first chase here being really nice. However, we are consuming quite a bit of our resources. Worth mentioning here. Moving now, of course, into this shop area. Tried showing our teeth. Didn't quite go for the lunge. Don't think we've been able to make it. There's a lunge there as far as with the shred to be able to get the first M1. I do think you got to be a little bit careful here if you're Amer. I think we might have wanted to potentially work our way down that pallet side and then back across towards the opposite shops, but instead going to use this pallet back here. And actually, the more I think about it, I really like this play because you're not otherwise going to be able to get back here with much safety. So even though you didn't quite get the pallet drop, as I'm sure you were kind of hoping for back here, This is going to be a good pallet to start at because you can probably just pretty well drop this. I would anticipate probably going to be moving back a little bit more towards Shack from here, but with the first chase of 1:33 seconds. I mean, honestly, really impressive here from Aimer. So going to be seeing a quick drop and a reset, and we'll be getting started with chase number 2 here. I would say Bazzy's got to be feeling pretty decent, just in the sense that you've gotten a lot of resources out of the way. It was kind of that trade-off that we've talked about a couple of times already today. Yeah, the timer itself looks a little bit longer, but I mean, as we even saw in our first matchup of the day with the Greendean, the first one was longer than a minute, and the next two were less than 50 seconds because there weren't as many resources on the map there. So it looks like Bazzy's hoping to potentially do a similar thing here with Aimer. Aimer, though, is going to be able to move back up to the top of our main building. I believe should be able to make it all the way around if they want to here and kind of put a little bit of extra stress onto Bazzy. I mean, we can hear the heartbeat, not seeing the red stain just quite yet. This is going to be risky. Oh, yeah, going to be able to take the M1 right before the window itself. We do still have this pallet, though, out front of our saloon. Oh, playing a risky game. I don't know if we're going to be able to make this back around. That should probably result in the down here for chase number 2. So 2 of 3 done here for Aimer. 49 seconds, so a total chase time of 2 minutes and 22 seconds currently. Now, I'm trying to think about what we have at our disposal pallets-wise, because we've thrown the one, however, it's not broken, the one that's out front of Saloon. I think we ended up breaking the one back at Water Tower. Yeah, I was going to say, I'd definitely put him back more on the side here. Yep. Probably going to not even see an instant throw. What is Aimer going to do here? This is going to be interesting, because I don't feel like you have too much at your disposal. I don't think either, or I don't think the breakable wall here, hasn't been taken out of play yet. We do still have the pallet in play as well. There's going to be the crowd control coming in twice fold. Should be able to make it back around to the pallet here, though. So now the play is going to be, where do you want to go? You got one more revolution. I don't think either window is going to be available to you. Nice mind game here. Oh, would have had access to that window. Oh, got caught. I think was going to try and be able to go over there and then have the window available. Ends up not being the case. There's going to be our first injured state here with the shred. I think you should at least be able to make this window. Nice fake by Aimer. Ooh, holding it all the way over here. I think, I was going to say, I think you should be able to make the filler pallet. I was actually wrong there. That's going to be the end of chase number 3 here. And it looks like we're looking at a total collective chase time of 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Do keep in mind that Filthy was able to move on in our last matchup with a total of 3 minutes and 7 seconds. So pressure going to be on Bazzy here. And worth noting, we had seen the longer chase first, the minute and 33 seconds on that first chase, but kind of like as I had mentioned going into chase number 2, just like our first matchup in Dixie and Greendean, we had seen that first chase being longer than a minute and the next 2 being less than 50 seconds thanks to there being less resources on the map. So it leads me to wonder personally if maybe we see Bazzy try and greed a couple of these pallets a little bit more. I know greeding's kind of obviously very risky situation to take in a 1v1. You only get 2 health states per chase, right? But I don't know. This is going to be really interesting here. And then, of course, right after this, we are going to be moving into our semifinals. While we're waiting here, I guess let's go ahead and start talking about our semifinals. Because our first semifinal matchup is going to be Miji versus Dixie. And we had seen that I talked about how the killer pool was going to be Huntress, Pyramid Head, and Artist. So basically your 3 kind of ranged killers, right? And I was hoping for some Pyramid Head, I'm not going to lie, but it does look like as far as our first matchup, we're going to be seeing the Huntress come out, which is going to be, like I said, right after these 3 chases here. That'll be Miji versus Dixie in our first semifinal matchup. Our second semifinal matchup is going to put Filthy versus either Aimer, who will be moving on with a time of 3 minutes and 8 seconds, or if Bazzy can beat that here in 3 consecutive chases here, they will be moving on as our last semifinalist here. So I do see we're starting to load in. Let's go ahead and get hyped, get excited here. If y'all have any predictions, feel free to let us know over in chat. Do you guys think that this is going to be one of these situations where we see Bazzy take things down as the second survivor in a matchup? Or do you guys think that the 3 minutes and 8 seconds is going to be enough for Aimer here? It's kind of a tough situation. I feel like the 3 minutes and 8 seconds, when you look at it, I mean, it would have been enough to win or move on. Obviously, our last matchup wouldn't have been enough to beat Dixie thus far. So kind of in the middle. We saw Bazzy have a pretty good performance in our last round, if I am not mistaken. Bazzy. Oh, actually, Bazzy and Aimer both had our 2 highest times. This is actually our matchup of our 2 best times collectively from round number 1 here. So gonna get started off with our first chase. Bazzy actually not going right for the main building. This is the first time I think we have seen that the first chase doesn't go immediately to the main. We are gonna see though, actually went ahead and went and broke that breakable wall in the shop there. I think that's the first time we've seen that breakable wall broken too. So Bazzy able to kind of do a lot with a little early here. We're going to be seeing the fast vault. Of course, there's going to be the crowd control coming into play, but does have that door open if they want to go that way. That also means the door is open for the demo dog to be able to cut them off here. So there's going to be the first M1 on to Bazzy. Now going to be moving into the main building. Of course, main building, since they have not looped here yet, that does mean it is completely still intact. Going to be interesting to see if they decide to break the wall there. It is not going to be the case. It looks like Aimer is indeed a vaulter, also nicknamed Walter. So going to be making one more revolution here around. I feel probably could have faked that, unfortunately. Dropped down here into the saloon. That is going to be our first down. Good news though is I don't think we used any pallets. Did we? No, I don't think we did. So good first chase here. Minute and 3 seconds. I mean, you know, if you can duplicate that here for chases number 2 and 3, that would be a second more than you need here. So off to a good start. But I mean, we've seen a lot, right? Where the first chase sometimes ends up being the longest chase. I don't know if that's going to be the case here, because we saw that there really wasn't much used as far as resources or anything. And even here this time, not going to be using the pallet right away, actually going to be able to make the fast vault here. And again, Aimer going to go ahead and do the Walter thing. Doesn't even worry about breaking down that breakable wall. Tries to go for the shred. Not going to be able to make any connections. That does allow Bazzy here to take us to a part of the map that we have yet to see at all today. Moving. Oh, nice hesitation here at the pallet. Oh, I thought you were going to be able to get it back over here. You do have a couple of the longer tiles that you can work here. I mean, they're not super safe, as we've talked about, you know, multiple times here, but it is time filler. Oh, with the pixel. Perfect pallet drop. Gets done, stupid. That's big distance here. Of course, we're now going to be seeing the alert value. We get the value as far as letting us know that our killer did indeed continue pushing through the shack. And with this breakable wall still being intact, there's huge distance for Bazzy. Really showing up and showing out here for chase number 2. And it's going to be interesting to see. Still maintaining the main tile here. I think you faked this win. No, I thought you probably should have. Oh, I think actually Aimer was anticipating the fake as well. Not sure if you make this. Oh, yeah, there it is. That's tough. You did make the pallet, but you know, this is kind of one of those unsafe pallets that we had talked about, where once you get the pallet dropped, and especially when you're a 4-6 killer and you, instead of committing to trying to get the hit in the pallet space, you just go around the outside like the 2 Trailer Park Girls. It's pretty easy to catch up, you know, to 4.0 survivor, unfortunately, as far as unfortunately for Bazzy in this case. However, we're talking about 2 minutes 20 seconds of total chase time. So right now we're needing essentially 49 seconds worth of chase time in this last chase. Both of our chases thus far from Bazzy have been longer than a minute. Here we go. Chase number 3. Is it going to be Aimer? Is it going to be Bazzy here? Moving on to face Filthy in our second semifinal matchups. We're going to be seeing Bazzy now again, moving upstairs. Still, this window has yet to be broken. It's I gotta say, it's interesting. I feel like Aimer has seen a lot of different people be able to get a lot of value from breaking down that wall. This case, though, I do believe you're going to be able to at least get the 1M1. The window is, of course, still going to be broken thanks to that crowd, or I should say the window's going to be broken. The window's going to be blocked thanks to that crowd control here as well. Bazzy, again, keep in mind, we needed a 49-second run. We're going to be seeing at least the vault here. We do have the pallets nice available. Going to be able to at least get the pallet down. Not going to be able to get the stun, but you are going to be able to stay up and off of your feet here. I think you still get around to this pallet. Oh, wasn't able to get the pallet down itself. It's going to be close here. Chase number 3 was 52 seconds. So it was indeed close. That means we're going to be seeing Bazzy here moving on with a total chase time of 3 minutes and 12 seconds compared to Aimer's 3 minutes and 8 seconds. So they'll be moving on to face Filthy. We're going to have to wait for picks and bans as far as for that matchup. But our next matchup here, we're starting our semifinals. Miji versus Dixie. As we had talked about while we were switching sides, we're going to be seeing the Huntress here. So we're going to be starting off our semifinals after a very quick break. All right, let's go ahead and take another trip here back on and into the fog here. Going to be starting off with Miji on the Huntress side. Going to be seeing Dixie here. And I've always been interested in the 1v1 with the Huntress because the mind games get a little bit different, right? Like you can't really you got to be careful with when you get stuck into your animations, whether it be the vaults, whether it be the pallets. We're going to be seeing that live is indeed live here from Dixie. Going to be able to build a little bit of extra distance here. I think that distance is going to be big, though. We move into the TNL, and the TNL you're going to see is going to be avoided really quickly by Dixie because it doesn't quite have the strength against the Huntress that it does against a lot of other killers, right?
Yeah, that is true. Well, what we do see here is the main building, which is the biggest strength loop against the Huntress. So I'm very curious to see if Midget has chosen to run Brutal Strength or Bamboozle, as those were the 2 options. And you'll speak to a lot of comp Huntresses who use both of these perks. I mean, either of them, one or the other. So they're both quite good for Huntress, and there's really no right choice. It just depends on the playstyle, really. These loops are very, very good against Huntress. Some of the stronger ones.
Yeah, especially because it does look like Dixie's kind of gotten some good RNG as far as it looks like you had the long wall jungle gym move into your TNL. Nice throw, though, as far as with the first hatchet to be able to make some connection. I want to say, though, what is that? That should be hatchet 4, so we're probably going to be seeing need to stop at a locker here briefly to get a quick reload, if that's the case.
Midget's going to have to play very patient with that last hatchet if he doesn't want to reload. However, Iron Man... Ooh! Nice.
Able to catch him in the animation, though. So I mean, kind of perfect timing if you think about it, in the sense of now you'll be able to drop them here, let them heal up, you'll be able to reload, and you'll be ready for chase number 2. First chase, though, 1.5 minutes for Dixie. Really good start here.
Yeah, absolutely, and he still has quite a few pallets left to use. If I'm not mistaken, I don't believe Dixie kicked that jungle gym pallet, so he could recycle that loop over near Shack. Sorry, not Dixie, Miji. Miji's the Huntress.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Dixie also did not kick that pallet, so.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
We are going to see, though, chase number 2 now starting. I was going to say, I think we used, which side was it? We used a lot of the, yeah, as I say, this side back here, right? The kind of like 1 through 5 side of the map as far as our resource, because this pallet's down. We're going to be seeing this one getting kicked. I think really also nice the one closer towards main is down too, right?
Dixie, I believe so. Dixie having the alert is going to be very, very helpful, and I made sure to put alert on a lot of the killers that have brutal strength. That way it gives the survivor a little bit more time to react to the kick. Because it gives you that sound notification. Actually, viewers may not know, you hear the sound notification before you see before you hear the kick sound. Mm-hmm. So alert gives you a little bit of a head start. which is nice, especially for a zoning killer like Huntress. Very nicely played by Dixie. He saw the mind games and he decided to just carry on to the next tile. He's chaining these loops very well.
He's doing a really good job of reading and reacting to what Miji is giving him. I mean, we had seen the moonwalk there by Miji, was able to read and react, get to the next pallet space and be able to drop that in time as well. So I have not been keeping track of the hatchets, to be perfectly honest. I know we've had a couple of them thrown, and with Dixie still being full health here, and I'm guessing that's maybe why we had a little bit of distance built here at this point. Maybe stopped to reload, or maybe got lost in the sauce a little bit. Not 100% sure here, but going to be seeing Dixie at this point. Going to be able to move all the way. Oh my goodness! Almost got. Imagine, yo, I would have lost my stuff.
That is.
I would have lost it.
And this part of the map is just deadly for the Huntress. Like, look at the amount of time she has to waste kicking that pallet, allowing Dixie to see exactly where she's going to go after kicking it. So he knows that he can hold W. He knows that he's not going to get mind gamed. It's just, yeah, the cards are in Dixie's pocket right now, and it's on him to just continue playing the way he is, and it's going to look good for him.
The more I see these 1v1s and see all the value from alert, watch out, I might have an alert montage coming up soon. I have to start bringing up my own. No, I'm just kidding. We are going to see, though, nice M1 here at this point to be able to get the first health state change. This has been a really good run here, though, from Dixie here to be adding up some time.
Dixie got a lot of speed boost from that hit, too. So if he's able to make the main window, this could be a very long chase. He makes the window. And he still has that breakable wall that's up inside the main building. So Midget has to either break that, or he has to mind game Dixie and hope that Dixie can't react in time. It's a very difficult position for Midget. Let's see if he's able to...
this is tough. And I was gonna say, when do you make the decision to break down those breakable walls? There's at least one of them going down there, breaks down the strength of that main tile, which is part of the reason we're gonna be seeing Dixie actually breaking away from main there. Not gonna be able to make connection here with that hatchet either. Playing the mind game here. Oh, this is close. Really good.
Very patient on this pallet. He knows that that Midget's trying to mind game him. And he gets the window again. I don't believe it.
Yeah, this is insane right now. Dixie serving up the juice, coming out here on Cold Tower.
Safe pallet.
No way. Stop.
Oh.
Dixie. Not like this.
It's going in the Taj queue.
What was that our last? I think that might have been our last hatchet. Which is a really tough situation. Okay, I was wrong.
So let's see what that chase adds up to. That's going to be 3 minutes and 34 seconds. Oh my lord. Dixie.
Oh, the chase. I thought you meant total time. 3:34 on the chase. 5 minutes and 4 seconds all together. Wow, really serving up some juice here. And I feel like we still have a decent amount of resources thinking about it on our left side of our map, right?
So Q, what do you think about the Lithe choice over the balanced landing? Which would you pick?
I mean, I feel like on Cold Tower, I feel like you have more options to use Lithe than you do balanced landing, right? Like, I feel like, and the other thing too is when you talk about balance, like with balanced landing, there's all like you kind of give away when you're going for the play. Granted, when you're going for a window play, you also give it away there. It's just, I feel like you have more value out of the Lithe. I'm a huge Lithe fan myself, even though I know I also love my E button for Dead Hard, but I've always thought Lithe gives you really big value, and I understand why it's probably bigger here on this map, especially against the Huntress in a 1v1. Oh no! Not like this.
Fortunately, with this kick, Dixie doesn't have much here. This could be a very quick down with a nice hatchet here. Oh! That was looking promising for Dixie, but unfortunately, he's gonna have to go there.
Yeah, that was tough. I think, unfortunately, just went a little too far past the pallet, was trying to get that little vacuum, and instead ends up with a down at 41 seconds. But thanks to that second chase, even with a 41-second third chase there, 5 minutes and 45 seconds of overall chase time. That's going to be tough for Miji to beat.
Yeah, I believe he's capable of doing this, though. We've seen Midget Survivor in these 1v1 events previously. He hasn't had the chance to shine so far. But,
yeah, I was going to say, Miji kind of got the easy road. That's fine. Being honest. No,
Nah, it's very unfortunate that people have stuff going on in their lives and they have to
Yeah,
drop
things
out.
happen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All
But
right, so maybe...
Midget's still gonna go on and do his best here. He's a very strong survivor. That's one thing to mention, is that he's not a killer player at all. I don't believe he's played that much Huntress, so it's possible that he could bring this back. He's more of a survivor player. Yeah, he could be doing some juicing here.
Well, juicing is going to need to be done. I mean, we're talking about 5 minutes and 45 seconds. So, I mean, you're talking about needing almost, what, a minute and 45 seconds per run, essentially.
That's like running around main, like, what, 10 times at least?
Yeah, this is gonna be tough. I'm wondering though if maybe that was why we were seeing it, because I felt like a couple of times working around whether it had been main or loops. Like I kind of felt like Dixie was able to maintain some distance. You had mentioned being more a survivor player. I wonder if maybe that was kind of some of that showing out there. It's gonna be tough here though, because I feel like now, especially because Dixie was maybe potentially able to take advantage of that, you're gonna have to just really turn it up on the survivor side.
Yeah. Well, Dixie's obviously in a more comfortable spot here, but never underestimate Miji. He could do a good performance here, and Dixie might get a bit nervous knowing that he has everything to lose, and Midget has nothing to lose at this point. Midget just has to get that big long chase, whereas Dixie's already in that position.
So going to be tough. While we are loading in here, though, and I know obviously we won't be able to talk about the next matchup too much because you're not going to be able to tell me who you think, because I'm sure I think I know who you think is going to win this next matchup. But whereas in the quarterfinals, we had seen Demo Dog across the board, even though we do have a killer pool. In the semifinals here, we actually are going to be seeing some killer difference. We have the Huntress obviously here in this matchup, but in our next matchup, we're going to be seeing some Pyramid Head. So I'm going to be really interested to kind of watch and see how that plays out.
Unfortunately, no one has chosen the Bird Lady. That is very unfortunate, but it's great to see some diversity after those 4 demo games.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's very fortunate we had nobody pick Bird Lady. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
We are going to see those starting things.
I'm still mad about no Kenneths from round 1. That's still in my mind.
Yeah, that was kind of a
it.
big sag, but you know, we'll be all right. We are going to be starting things off here with Miji. Does look like Miji also opts to bring in the Lithe here, proving that it is indeed life. But we did make our way to the long wall T&L there, and not really where you're going to want us to hang out. Unfortunately, overcommitting at the pallet space there, so we're going to be taking a very early M1. This is not good if we're being quite honest, because now you've got an early hit and you need some big
that drop, because considering the time that Midget needs to last, he might need to play a bit risky here. So maybe getting rid of all the pallets early might not be the play. We'll see how that plays out. But
yeah, I think
just
the big thought was
pallets,
because you got an early hit though, right? So if you get the early hit, you can at least build some distance. Then you kind of make up for. You're just gonna, I think, then play risky and chase 2 and 3.
This isn't a bad start. He's definitely taken Dixie quite far across the map. Yeah, Dixie's probably going to
those pallets still with reckless abandon, man. This is crazy.
He's got a nice pallet there into a T&L.
So actually now at this point, I mean, Miji has been able to build... Oh, man, another pallet that I feel like thrown very, very early. This is tough because, I mean, again, I mean, yeah, it does. They are going to take a second here. Dixie is to break the pallet, but Miji is going to leave less on the board for later, kind of like we had talked about on Dead Dog a lot with the first chases. We saw the first chases kind of lasting longer, and then the second and third not so much because there's less resources on the board. I'm kind of concerned that we're going to see something similar here for Miji.
I will say, to that point, he does have the main building, so maybe his Oh, Bamboozle, we're seeing it coming. Maybe his strategy is to use the pallets early on and then use main building to last in his last few chases. But Bamboozle could make that difficult to do, as Dixie won't even have to break the door. He'll just be able to block the window at main building.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what we do with the start of this second chase here, because the second chase is basically starting right here in the middle of the map, right? And yeah, you had chase number 1 be able to go for almost 2 minutes, a minute and 57 seconds.
That's actually longer than Dixie's average chase, I believe. Only just longer. So if
yeah, essentially you were needing to average a minute and 45 seconds per for a tie. So you're already higher than your average. The only tough part though is you've still got a lot available. You talked about not just at main, but even just on the top half of the map. Even when we talk about I don't know what kind of RNG we've got over here. Looks like we've got a long wall TNL, at least up here, kind of like the 2 area, which isn't exactly what you would want with the Huntress, but maybe you can make something shake and then move it back towards main. But the bamboozle, of course, you had mentioned before, going to cause some issues.
Dixie is playing it safe here and just getting those breakable balls out of the way, knowing that now Midget doesn't have very much at his disposal, considering all the pallets that he used earlier.
Yeah, I think right now you're kind of okay with over-investing a little bit of additional time because you had mentioned, right, like already gotten rid of a lot of the resources on the bottom half of the map. So if you can break up the top half of the map, because you gave yourself, so much time on the survivor side, I think you're able to allot yourself that time in trial 2 here, nice hatchet.
Oh, this could be quite close, Q. Let's see what this second chase add up to. That was a minute and 3 seconds. That's putting things quite close.
So that means we're at that does put us right at the 3-minute mark. So
right. So Dixie, Miji needs exactly a minute and 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
He still has to go on a juicer here. Yeah, this has to be a pretty long chase here, just because again you were needing to be right around that 145, I think, per. No, even the 145 would have been short. That would have been 515.
Yeah,
so
that would have been
So we need a good run here, and the tough part we had mentioned, already a lot of resources off the table, so going to be interesting here. We've got Miji starting off, heading towards.
Not the best start here, but he still has his life. He has main building. He could pull off. He could pre-drop this pallet at the car and life over to. Oh no, he's not going to do that. He might get. Oh, Dixie's just choosing to break the pallet. I was worried Dixie would throw a hatchet there and hit him before he could even use his life.
Yeah, but now you can make one more. I was gonna say maybe make one more rotation around and then use the window for your life, but instead doubling back, going the other way around. You can still do the same thing here though with your TNL, or maybe even the window over here at your jungle gym. No, not the hatch. We've already had that happen once. All right, cool.
Honestly, I think TNLs are like the most fun loop to verse a Huntress on. I find it very, very fun. I feel like there's a lot of input from both sides. It's very
I think TNLs are my favorite loop just in general because of the input from both sides. I just feel like with the good Huntress, you just have so much at your disposal,
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, now.
Do you think this pallet is gonna get used here? Do you reckon maybe he's gonna go for a risky stun play on that very, very unsafe filler?
Oh, you're talking about this one here?
This one here, he might be up to this pallet. Oh,
yeah, let's say you overcommit there, and that's gonna be tough. I mean, you needed a juice run. Those were the types of plays that you kind of needed to play needed at that point, though, right? You need 2 minutes and 45 seconds worth of loop on a already pretty well expired map when you talk about a lot of your resources and everything. But I mean, can't complain with that total chase time,
Yeah, still a good chase time for Midget, considering the fact that Huntress is a strong killer on this map. Cold Tower is one of Huntress's strongest maps for chases. So we had a very great performance from both of these players.
So we now have Dixie moving into the finals. We've got to figure out who's going to be facing not only Dixie in the final, but you had mentioned we're going to be having a third place game as well. So we got to be figuring out who's going to be playing Miji in the third place game. So it's going to be coming down to Filthy and Bazzy on the Pyramid Head. So we're going to be bringing that set to y'all after a very quick break. All right, so we've already got one of our finalists here. Got to find out our other one, going to be between Bazzy and Filthy here, starting off on the Pyramid. Well, I shouldn't say starting off on the Pyramid Head. It's all going to be on the Pyramid Head. We've got the Pyramid Head for this 1v1 here, which should be fun. We do see, though, it looked like we had did we have back-to-back TNL? That's going to be a little unfortunate as far as for our RNG, not exactly what you'd like to have. First, as far as use of the M2, not going to be able to find a connection here. Now going to be back using the main building, which can be quite a pain to deal with. We're actually going to be seeing Filthy going around the inside, actually going to be breaking down that wall as well, which good decision. You know, obviously breaks up that main tile quite a bit. Ooh, able to avoid the M2 again. That's that quick and quiet value. Love to see it. Honestly, I was wondering why the quick and quiet with the dead hard, but that does definitely make a lot more sense. It does make your pyramid head guess a little bit more as far as vault locations when you're working on trying to put survivors into those lose-lose situations with the locking of the animations and stuff like that, right? Oh, unfortunately, though, going to connect with the M2 here as far as unfortunate for Bazzy. That means you've already got one health state changed. And we're going to stick back to main building. I mean, I understand the decision, right? Obviously, oh, I thought that was a hit when we heard the noise. I was about to say, wow, from distance. Because at least you're sticking on this half of the map, leaving the, I mean, because really the middle of the map can be some good value for chase number 2. Not going to have a pallet here, so that's going to be the down. Chase number 1, though, not a bad chase for starters. 1 minute and 29 seconds here, so I'll be interested to see what Bazzy does from this point, because you do have the middle of the map that is available. Of course, you still have Shack is available as well. I almost wonder if maybe you can lightly hit the mid and then try and get Shack side hit a little bit harder, because you can, you know, be a little bit more reckless with your pallets. And then you can kind of rotate and you have your availability for the third part kind of all the way around. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what Bazzy does do. An instant drop of the pallet, though. Then quickly moving towards, again, this middle portion here. We have the one TNL into another TNL. We're into another, no, I'm not going to say another TNL, imagine, though. We are, though, going to be seeing Bazzy doing exactly kind of like I was mentioning, though. Heading back towards Shack, and I like this, I really like this strategy here, because you work now essentially from the bottom of the map forward. Oh, trying to make the connection with the M2. Not going to be able to be the case here for Filthy. So essentially now at this point, we're going to be seeing Bazzy more kind of working this like 5 area back here. And I think if you work over here, you've got your pallet, you've got your long wall. As far as for the jungle gym here, that does give you a vault location if you want to, you know, work some magic here. We're going to be seeing that our friend Filthy is a vaulter, also nicknamed Walter. Not going to be able to find a connection here at this case either. Now actually going to be seeing the long wall jungle, or the long wall TNLs back to back here. You know, able to basically just Forrest Gump, you know, we're just gumping it out here. Just shift W and pass both. I think we might have lost our pyramid head here. I think Filthy might have gotten a little lost in the sauce and started mind gaming themselves here. So we are going to make sure that, or we are going to be needing to make sure that, oh no, we can still hear. We got that chase still going on. So at least able to keep now back towards main. We do some this pallet, oh my goodness, able to avoid the M2 by the pixels here, really juicing it up here for chase number 2 along the backside of our main building. We even see Bazzy trying to use those couple of holes in the wall there, trying to locate our pyramid head. Oh, I thought we were going to drop the wood. Not going to be the case. I think that's going to result in an M1. Yeah, there it is, going to be here in this case. Oh man, this is going to be tough. However, we do still have this pallet here in this junk. Cool gem. I'm pretty sure the dead hard saved us there. We've also got the quick and quiet value to be able to just hold shift W back towards Shack. This is big distance here, because if you go down here, especially if you save this pallet, then you can start at this pallet and kind of use the last couple bit, kind of like I was talking about, work from the bottom up for chase number 3 here, which would be big value. Let's see if you can force miss. Oh, just got caught doubling back in. That is going to be a down for the end of second chase. Oh man, 2 minutes and 23 seconds for chase number 2, resulting in a total time of 3 minutes and 52 seconds. And we still have a whole other chase left here. So let's go ahead and see a really quick reset. I just feel like we've still got quite a bit at our disposal here. The one thing that's tough as far as the middle of the map, what, you have 2 TNLs back to back. What, I think you have 3 TNLs that make an L shape, if I'm not mistaken. So you don't have much as far as pallets as well. You have this one and then the one to the left of us here, but I think also the other tile rotated back towards main is also a TNL. So not the most fortunate as far as RNG. We're going to be seeing a really quick hit here as far as the first M1. No attempt as far as an M2 to try and take the first health state change. Now going to be seeing the pallet break though. That pallet's broken. I believe our pallet over here in our long wall jungle gym, I should say, is also broken here. So kind of zoned out into this corner just a little bit. We're going to be seeing the fast fall here. No, this pallet's actually still up. So now going to be seeing the vault here. But yeah, this is going to be where it gets tough because you've got the TNL here. You've got the TNL next to us. Then yeah, a TNL right here. This is so tough. Not exactly the type of RNG that you would want. Dead hard to the pallet. However, the reach, the filthy Pocos coming in here. Chase number 3 getting done in just under a minute. 56 seconds for chase number 3. So a total chase time of 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Wow. The one that obviously really stands out is chase number 2 there, looking at the 2 minutes and 23 seconds. That was really a juicer run. This is tough here. So we're at what, 4 minutes and 45 seconds amongst 3 chases. I feel like the first chase is going to be what's really important. If you can get somewhere around that like minute and a half range, you know what I mean? Kind of at least set pace with the first chase. Then that way you don't have to necessarily match pace of the second one of 2 minutes and 23 seconds. But if you can, you know, get another one right there around that minute and a half mark. Because if you do 3 minute and a half chases, you're at 4.5 minutes. So you only need to find an additional... I know I say only minute and a half chases, like that's easy. I understand, chat. It's not that simple. But when you're talking about just breaking it down mathematically, if you find another 20 seconds amongst the 3 chases, you're pretty solid. So minute and 40-second chase each, you know, you'd be feeling decent. You just got to be careful because I feel like even, I don't want to say that last chase was quicker because of a lack of resources, because I don't think that was quite the case. But that is something that you do want to be careful of. I think really there, Bazzi really could have had a little bit longer of collective time had you not had the 3 TNLs back to back to back. That was super unfortunate here. Do keep in mind, as we had already mentioned, even though I don't think it was originally on the promo or the flyer or anything, before moving into the finals, we are going to be having a 3rd place game. So that does mean that Miji will be facing off in that 3rd place game next against whoever has the lower of the 2 collective times. Here we go, seeing things starting off relatively quickly here with Filthy back here at our shack. We do see, has the TNL here into it looks like it's just this is a short wall jungle gym into the back of a TNL. So similar RNG. The only difference is you don't have like the back-to-back TNLs. It's interesting to see so many of these TNLs coming out though in this case. And I mean, we are going to be seeing a little bit of a mind game. Oh, Filthy getting caught out of position. I think there's going to be an early hit. That is not what you were hoping for here. If you're Filthy, you've already got 1 health state change. Now going to see if you can get and I think we might have even prematurely used our dead hard here. Now going to get caught before the pallet space. And that's just going to be the M1 down here. That's tough. That's going to be an early down for chase number 1. Granted, we didn't use very many of our pallets or anything like that. So Filthy does still have some at their disposal as far as that. But essentially going to need to go on 2 2-minute benders here as far as in the 1v1 against Bazzi. I mean, Bazzi had a pretty good time there of the 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Really good early down here as well. So Bazzi's got to be feeling confident. Filthy's going to be feeling some pressure here. We see a very early pallet drop. I'm kind of intrigued that we didn't see Filthy wait for the Dead Hard to come back either. We are going to see, though, we got the alert coming in. And now moving, actually, what is this? We got a jungle. Is this another short wall that we've got here? Nice job holding back and not taking the M2 there. They weren't camping out their pallet space. Not going to get the M2 there either. So at least Filthy's able to stay upright, able to stay healthy here as far as in chase number 2. We are by the pallet space. Doesn't look like we're going to go ahead and use it, but we do have a TNL here now forced into the animation. So going to go ahead and get the easy M2 is Bazzy. That does give Filthy a speed boost, of course, to be able to move back here towards main. We have yet to take chase back here at main. So that does mean that we have quite a bit available to us as far as our resources. Oh, nice fake, but that does allow SeaBass to be able to make a little bit of that distance back, and there is going to be another down number 2, another relatively quick chase, if we can be perfectly honest, 1 minute and 3 seconds. So we are going to need to see essentially a 3-minute run here from Filthy if you're wanting to move into the finals. Otherwise, we are going to be seeing Filthy moving on to play Miji in the 3rd place matchup after a break. Of course, during the break will be a little bit longer because we've got to get picks and bans not only for our 3rd place game, but for our finals here as well. But let's go ahead and get things started. Let's figure out who's going to be where here. Now going to be starting chase number 3 is Filthy with a very early pallet throw. Going to be sticking with our main building here. And this is going to be tough. I think you make this vault one more time. You aren't going to be stuck in the animation just quite yet. Kind of interesting to see that pallet wasn't broken right away here from Bazzy. Instead, though, now going to be forced more towards the middle of our map. We have already used our pallet here as far as our short wall jungle gym. I think we should be able to make it back around. Bazzy forces the animation, able to get the M2 here. So we've got a first health state change. Filthy needs to serve up the juice here with only 1 health state remaining if we're wanting to move into the final. Bazzy wanting to maybe take a little bit of a break before moving into their last matchup of the day, so would like to be moving into the finals instead. Going to be missing the M2 here, but we are going to be staying here at our short wall. I think we've already gotten rid of the pallet space. There's the M2. And I don't know the official time just quite yet. We're going to be seeing that put up on the scoreboard here shortly. But if I had to guess, that was not quite the 3-minute run that we were meeting. Yeah, actually a 56-second run. So Bazzy able to keep an average of under a minute here on Filthy. Filthy with a total of 2 minutes and 47 seconds of chase time. So that means we will be seeing Filthy versus Miji in our 3rd place game. That means after that, we will be seeing Bazzy versus Dixie in our finals. But of course, we have to figure out who they're going to be selecting. We have to go through a picks and bans process, so this break will be a little bit longer, but then we will be bringing that 3rd place game as well as that grand finals to y'all after a very quick break. All right, let's get started off here with our 3rd place game, and we are going to be seeing the Blight, which should be super exciting, especially seeing Blight on the Blood Lodge. We've been seeing Blood Lodge a little bit in some NA and EU competitions, and I kind of like Blood Lodge has some of the little filler pallets in the middle that you can mind game around a little bit. And then of course you have some other stronger tiles like the Fun Bus. However, we do see Filthy getting hit through the window there at the Fun Bus, unfortunately. So that is already a first health state change. We do see Blight trying to close that distance. Nice move though, really good job.
I'm just going to explain something real quick for the stream. So we have it in this tournament where for the finals, and this is going to be the loser finals, we reset the map between each chase. So they should DC here and reset. Let's hope they do that.
So we are still resetting after every chase. Okay, I was wondering if that was the case that we were still going to be doing. Boom, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, so the way this works is we're going to get less of an RNG influence by getting 3 different variations of the Blood Lodge for each of them to use at their disposal. And what this does mean is we could potentially get longer chases as a result. So, yeah.
it's a little bit of like give and take though, right? Because I mean, Blight is also one of the stronger chase killers. So I mean, I would imagine we'll probably be seeing more like pre-throwing of pallets. So it's okay too, because you're not going to be like having a completely empty map come chase 3, right?
Right. Sorry for updating that time slow. That was 47 seconds on the first chase. A pretty standard chase time for Blight. Maybe lower than average, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Um, what do you think is Filthy's strategy going into this queue?
Juice.
That sounds like a good strategy to me.
No, no, I think it's really tough. Feel like on the Blight, the biggest thing is, because you don't want to overgreed pallets. Because even if we're talking about not in a rush, I mean, still even without in a rush, you obviously still faster than a Survivor. Like let's say when we're talking about some of those filler pallets in the middle of the map that we happen to get often on Blood Lodge here, right? So you've got to be kind of deliberate about how you're chaining things together. But at the same time, I feel like, especially on Blood Lodge, I feel like Filthy's probably the big thing is trying to find a way to link tiles that aren't directly next to each other, right? Like if you can get Shack down, then you move down. Maybe don't use the pallet that's right here in the middle, but you can at least use this tile to build distance to then get to the tile that's, more over across on the 9 o'clock or the 3 o'clock side of the map,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a really neat win condition for this map is reaching the main building, which is quite a challenge, especially since you only get one chase to do it. One shot, one opportunity. But once you get to the main building, Blood Lodge, it's actually quite strong against the Blight, because some of the collision inside it is very difficult for Blight. There's also a strong window where the Blight will have to break a door, and usually there's a pallet outside the other side of the main building.
That's unfortunate. It got lost real quick, and I think it did cause our Survivor here, Filthy, to not want to head straight towards main, and then unfortunately got caught a little out of position. I think we might have kind of given away a free health state there. We are going to see, though, now trying to move around the fun bus. There's the workaround. Not going to be able to find the M1 here. Still sticking to this tile here, because, of course, if you hug this tight, I mean, you should be able to still get at least one more revolution around. I think might have been able to get it if we would have doubled back. Still could play a little bit more around here. Not sure if we're going to be able to make it back around to this pallet, though. Things are going to be close. That is going to be down for number 2 as far as for chase number 2 here.
Right, and that second chase was 1 minute 19 seconds, so longer than the first.
Still not getting quite to main, though. You talked about that kind of being like the like side mission, if possible, right? So
right. Well, it is very difficult to do if the Blight is aware of them trying to go towards the main building. They can do whatever they can to zone them away.
Right, you can just use your rushes to then basically put yourself in between them and main, and then reassess from there. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but honestly, the Survivor doesn't have to go get to main. There is also some nice fillers. There's some jungle gyms. There's the fun bus. It's just a nice objective, because especially if you've already reached main, you know that your chase is already pretty good, and that'll just guarantee you an extra 20, 30 seconds maybe. So yeah, depending on how it's played.
So we'll see here if maybe Filthy can make their way across to the actual lodge itself and chase number 3, but gonna need to definitely want to make sure they put their best foot forward here, because this is our last chance to add time to the total chase timer here in our 3rd place game. Gonna be seeing Filthy taking the place over on the pallet side of Shack.
Filthy has changed skins between these chases with the Dixie. He's rocking the style. Points for that. That might have been an early rush from Midget. Let's see how Filthy plays this. Okay, he's fatiguing. That's very smart of him. Oh, that could be an M1.
Yeah, I think this is going to be at least an M1 before the pallet. Yeah, that's really good job there by Miji.
He was confident that he was able to rush in time and get that hit. Fortunately, didn't land that. Filthy's in a tough position here, because he does still get the stagger from dropping down and won't get as much distance as Balanced in this position.
Should still be able to make one revolution round, though. I don't think you hesitate at this pallet. The only problem is, man, when you got that Blight right behind you in the mid-rush, as you saw, you know, able to break that pallet right away really minimizes... Wait, what? Oh, he must have done a quick bounce. I didn't see the quick bounce. It's like, when the... We are going to move, though, into our 4 lane over here. That's going to be the down, though. So a really good third run here, quite honestly, from Filthy. So we're looking at a third run chase time of 58 seconds. So a total of 3 minutes and 4.
That's roughly a minute in each chase, which I would say is pretty good from both sides. That's a pretty standard chase time for Blight, especially considering no dead hard. Definitely good chase to start off with. Let's see if Filthy is able to match these times with his Blight now.
All right, I do believe they had started the predictions earlier for the finals, but even if we don't have the prediction set up for number 3, let us know down below, or I should say over to the right there in chat. Do you guys think that Miji will be able to top the 3 minutes and 4 seconds put up here by Filthy, or are we going to be seeing Filthy essentially taking home the bronze today, winning the 3rd place spot? And then after that, we will be moving into the finals, which will be Bazzy and Dixie. Before we move into that, we're going to kind of let you know how we're switching things up for the finals briefly, and then we'll take a quick break to move into that. But let's go ahead and I see we're already loading here to go ahead and get into these last 3 runs of our 3rd place here. What do you think, Bazzy?
About what?
What's your prediction?
Oh, prediction.
Does the 304 stand the test of time over these three chases? Because I think you were telling me in between, or I think I'd overheard in the conversation in between time that Miji was our last 1v1 champion. Yes,
he was. Yes, yeah. Miji's also a Blight man, so this is one of Miji's favorite killers. Filthy is a nurse main who plays a lot of nurse. So it was very strange that Filthy decided to ban Spirit over banning Blight, which gave Midget his strongest killer, but Filthy just wanted a fun last chase. So yeah, decided to stick with the Blight.
Yeah, I feel like even though there's more counterplay to Spirit now with like the directional phasing sound, I still feel like there's more fun interaction between the two on the Blight for sure. So I'm definitely happy to see that was the selection that we went with here. Unfortunate collision. Off our Blight goes. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Off into the middle of the map. So that is going to buy Miji some costly time here.
Ooh. This being M1.
We see some good mind games. I like that play to be able to move to the backside of that tile there, so you don't have to worry about like the immediate hit. Although they do, of course, you know, force the pallet break, so you have to move away into this TNL. Unfortunately, it's going to be the M1 with the Lithe, so it's going to be a little bit of extra speed to be able to move across the map. But you know, at least now you're moving a little bit more towards main here, as you can see. Able to avoid the M1 with the nice little spin.
I think I know what happened there. What happened is Filthy might have been rush validated over the swing, so he might have been ready to lunge, but he bounced before he lunged, if that makes sense.
Oh.
Which is a common problem for Blight players. It's very, yeah.
Unfortunately, we do see, though, I mean, Filthy was able to recover pretty quickly, able to get Miji down there. So, I mean, chase number 1 up on the board, 1 minute and 14 seconds. Which, you know, if we're looking at only 5 seconds shorter than Filthy's best time. So, I would say Miji's off to a good start here.
Right, yeah, this definitely leaves the cards open. They're all out on the table. This could go either way. I imagine both of these guys are quite nervous right now, quite stressed, and putting in their best effort, because this could be a very close matchup.
I would say chase number 2 here going to be very, very important. I mean, we had seen, you know, the second chase for Filthy was where they were able to get their longest time. And if Miji's able to do that after having a time just 5 minutes shy of that top mark there, thus far in this matchup, will definitely be set up in a good spot to pass that 3 minutes and 4 seconds altogether here. So
Yeah,
let's
I'm
go
curious,
ahead.
what do you think about the Lithe choice over the Sprint Burst? Because we do have Blight and Nurse are the only 2 killers for which Sprint Burst is allowed.
I like it because you're either stuck with, you know, having to keep your, you know, sprint burst 99 essentially, right? Whereas like live, you have more I feel like you have a little bit more control over when you want to use it. You know what I mean? Although
Well,
obviously, again, you can just hold on your sprint burst, but
we do have in the rules that we're not allowed to 99 Sprint Bursts before the chase.
oh, okay.
So,
Well,
yeah,
then,
you do
yeah,
have
that
to
would be
use
the
it
big reason.
immediately.
Yeah, that would be the biggest reason then I'd probably say as far as for the life, because yeah, you can sprint burst away from Shack and maybe move into the middle of the map and then rotate back to Shack, you know,
Yeah.
after you use whatever palette. But as you had mentioned, with the goal really being if you can to try and get to main, I just feel like Lithe gives
Yeah.
you the best chance of that.
Nah, absolutely. Yeah, it is a safer backup choice. I guess Sprint Burst is in case survivors are worried that they might get a bad shack spawn where they won't be able to pre-drop the shack pallet. So they might be able to
Right.
get just as much distance as if they pre-dropped the shack pallet without actually having to do it. So a nice option to have. Very, very nice chase from Filthy. Looks like it's going to be around the same. 1 minute 14 seconds, exactly the same as the last chase.
Oh
So
man,
this
that's
leaves
tough.
Miji at 2 minutes 28 seconds and Filthy at 3 minutes and 4 seconds. So if my maths is right, Midget needs to last about 36 seconds here.
Yeah, 37 seconds should put Miji up on the top of the board here for the third place game. So it does all come down to this. I mean, that's as consistent as you can get with your chases, right? 114 and then
Yeah.
114. So Filthy going to need to make something shake here quickly. And I would imagine if we continue sticking with that lithe play over the sprint burst, I think Miji is going to be firmly in control here.
But if we're being completely honest, if there's any killer that can get a 37-second chase, it's
Right.
Blight or Nurse.
True.
But yeah,
No.
if he gets a good setup with Shaq not facing into any strong pallets, he could get those hits very, very quick. Considering the fact that the Blight only has to swing 1 time, just as much as all the other killers.
All right, let's get things started off here with our last chase. In our third place game, we're going to be seeing the instant pallet drop and then quickly moving kind of more into the middle area of the map. Looks like we're going to just kind of be hanging out around this pallet space. Going to try and force. Oh, get stunned, stupid. Plus, we got the life is life, baby. Able to go ahead and move right into the button bust here as well. So really good play here. That should be buying plenty of the time that Miji needs here.
Sneaky Bolt. Oh, I'm impressed that Filthy was able to get through that gap in Shack. It's very hard to slide through.
Yeah, we're gonna see here. I mean, honestly, Miji just putting in the work. I think we are probably right around that point just about now. I don't have a live timer in front of me. I know you guys do, Chad. I apologize about that. Oh, we are gonna see. Ooh. Wait, what did? I don't know about you. Did it sound like it gave the break notification? I don't know why it almost sounded like it did to me, but there it is now. It actually got the stun itself. Didn't get the break right off the pallet drop. That's big distance able to be made here. There's going to be the first M1. Now moving back past our 4 lane here. We do have that pallet available at our disposal if we had wanted to, but said
possibility for Iron Will get. Oh!
Wow, nice.
I was gonna say Iron Will could have its place in this chase, making Filthy hesitate and not being certain where Miji is on the other side of loops. Oh,
hits him with the
nodding his head.
360.
He's happy with his fire movement.
He knows we see it. Yeah. It was nice. Oh, he gets done, stoop. Why are we?
Oh, dumb tech.
And that's gonna be it for our third chase there, which, if I am not mistaken, should Once we look at the total time, yeah, be seeing Miji move, finishing up in the 3rd place spot. Not a bad way to follow up a 1st place with the 3rd place here. 4 minutes and 11 seconds here against Filthy. Now, I know I will not have you on the desk with me for this next one here in the finals. But before we take this break, why don't you explain what we're going to be doing in the finals here, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've decided to make this final game longer this time around. So instead of having 3 chases each, we're going to have 6 each. And what we've decided to do is we're going to have 2 chases for each reset of the map. So we're going to be playing on the Blood Lodge with Blight, and we're going to get 2 chases, then the DC, then the two chases again, then a DC, and then the final 2 chases. So we should get some fun, long, interesting games here. And if anyone's confused with the time, what we've decided to do is we're just going to add up the first 2 chases, like the total for each map reset, if that makes sense. So the top time will be the first cycle of the map, and there'll be 3 cycles of the map, and the final time will be 6 chases added together.
Cool.
I hope that's clear.
Essentially, each time is going to be for each reset of the map. Each reset of the map's going to have 2 separate chases in together. So 6 chases all together, 3 times showing up the board, right?
Right. Yeah. That's great.
Cool. Fantastic. So that is going to be Bazzy versus Dixie. We are going to be running it back on the Blight for the finals here, and we'll be bringing that to y'all after a very quick break. All right, and it all comes down to this here. Going to be seeing our grand final run back on the Blood Lodge. You're going to be starting off with Bazzy on our Survivor side. Again, keep in mind, chat, 6 chases in total. We are going to be combining 2 times together, basically per reset on the map itself, which will be the times that reflect up on the screens themselves. So we're going to have to wait a second to see what those times actually are. We do see, though, Bazzy, as they had mentioned while they're on the desk with us, the goal kind of being to try and work their way towards main. They are almost there, which it could be some big value, especially because once you head away from main, we really haven't used anything on either side as far as pallets or anything. And again, we're not resetting the map every time the way that they did in the 3rd place, because since it's 6 chases instead of 3 chases, they're going to run it back twice. So you still have quite a bit at your disposal. Not going to be able to find a connection just quite yet. Gets done, stupid, says Bazzy here. Able to stay not only upright, but also able to stay completely healthy here, which is going to be big when we're talking about the first chase here. Now going to be seeing the first hit coming out in the shack. Going to be interesting to see how long Bazzy can stay vertical from this point moving forward here. Now moving towards our filler pallet, trying to play the mind game around here. Don't think you're going to be able to make it. That's going to be the down here. So again, we are going to see a reset. We will not see a disconnect here. All right. So a very quick reset before we see chase number 2. That timer should still just be paused, and it will just keep going after we restart our chase here. All right, but of course, before we restart our chase, going to have to see a reset on to Bazzy. I feel like Bazzy's got to be feeling pretty good here after chase number 1. You still have quite a bit available to you if we're talking about more over on like that 7 to 11 side of the map. I don't think we've really used any pallets. I don't know what kind of tiles we have at our disposal, to be fair. I don't think we've really taken chase over there at all, but going to be seeing that pallet there getting thrown. Now moving back towards shack here. Oh, we went for the quick vault out. You're going to be using the life, though, to be able to tuck right back in. Going to be able to buy some distance. We're actually going to be seeing our friend Dixie going back in through the actual shack itself. So Bazzy moving kind of more over here towards our 3 o'clock position, able to avoid the hit here. We do have the tractor. There's going to be the first hit, though, before you can actually get to the tractor pallet itself. It does look like that pallet is going to get broken pretty quick. This is big because we've already kind of used the other pallets back in this corner of the map here. So we are in a little bit of a dead zone. Plus, we've got the TNL back here. I mean, the TNL can be worked around for the Survivor against the Blight. I mean, should be able to make the window. No, actually, get behaviored, big boy. That's going to be a down. That's the second down here, which means we should have a total collective time for our first round of chases here. 2 minutes, 6 seconds here. Not a bad starting time here from Bazzi. Going to be interested to see if you can keep that pace and kind of stick around that area. Good. I mean, I feel like Dixie's got to be feeling pretty good. We'd kind of seen, at least in the third place game, times around, 45 seconds to a little bit over a minute, around that range. I mean, we had the one outlier being the minute 43 from Miji. So with 2 chases equal in 2 minutes and 6 seconds, got to be feeling decent. Bazzi probably wants to turn up the heat a little bit here. So let's go ahead and load into trial number 2 here. See what it's all about. Going to be interesting to see if Bazzi tries to do a similar sort of style and try and rotate back towards main kind of, early the way he did that last chase. I feel like we got to main, but then didn't really get too much use out of it. We ended up just using main for our life, and I feel like you can get that value quite a bit elsewhere. So maybe instead of heading straight towards main, maybe you can try to head towards one of the jungle gyms that are around like 3, and then use Lithe from there to get to main. Might not be a bad idea. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. We do see though loaded in. Gonna be starting off with Dixie heading back towards that shack. All right, we see Bazzi does opt to start off on the shack side, or on the pallet side, goes for the instant pallet drop here. So it does go for a similar sort of strategy, pushing right into our middle portion of our map. We got quite a few of these filler pallets. Oh, get stunned, stupid. Able to get the pixel perfect drop. Doesn't have to worry about the break. Just simply gets the 10 plus wood across the face itself. Not going to be able to find a connection there. Trying to see if we can with the speed. There it is. There's going to be the first tag. That's a very early hit here onto Bazzi. Now moving back over towards the tractor itself. Trying to see... Ooh. Yeah, going to be forcing the break here at this point. It does look like we do have this pallet right here down. I almost feel like Bazzi might be better opted to be just holding back across over to kind of more that 9 side, but instead moves still more center map here. Is still looking to kind of get back towards the actual main building. We do see it maybe trying to go for a zone, or maybe just wasn't able to find a collision. Not quite sure which happens to be the case here from Dixie. But there it is. There's that life going to be used. We do see, though, quickly be able to close that distance here is Dixie, of course, with the Blight. Oh, there's going to be the down. That is going to be the first half of this chase. So we'll go ahead and pause that timer here real quick. Going to be watching that reset here as well. All right, probably got to be feeling pretty decent. We're back here by shack, or back here by main, I should say. Might be able to use this. Then maybe, I don't know. I mean, we can see Lithe now back in play. Be interested to see how quickly Bazzi opts to use it here, because it does look like we're going to quickly go into main. And, of course, a quick vault here does cause the Lithe to proc. And instead, you know what, though? I do like this. You go around the outside, but the long way. Oh, unfortunately, though, not going to be able to make it to that pallet. You do get the stun, but you could have been using a little bit more of that time to build distance. I think the pallet still needed to be dropped there though, because you are kind of a little bit out into a dead zone. Oh, nice job by Bazzi here to be able to make it to the window. Not quite able to make the connection is Dixie. Bazzi's gonna be kind of stuck in a tough situation here. Now moving over to this corner, I think we've got the TNL over here, so no pallet or nothing to really work with. And I think we've used the filler that's next rotated up if we are going to be moving up towards the 3 o'clock position. I think we've already used that one, if I'm not mistaken. So kind of stuck in this corner, if we're being quite honest. Do we think we... No, actually doing a good job here to protect. Breaking... Oh, does we make the window? Ooh, there we go. Bazzi into the window itself. Able to extend this chase a little bit longer, moving into the middle portion of our map here. So, honestly, making big distance now. kind of moving back more towards like our 8, 9, and then there. That's going to be the down, but I feel like did a good job in our second chase there to really build up some time. 4 chases down, 2 to go. Our collective time from chases 3 and 4 comes to 2 minutes and 23 seconds. So right now at a total chase time of 4 minutes and 39. So I feel like we're in a pretty good spot. You know, we had kind of talked about that minute kind of being a good average for both sides. And we figure that, you know, both of our competitors here have some Blight experience to them. Both of them obviously being good survivors as they're both here in the finals of the 1v1. So actually stepped up our game a little bit if we look about the times from our first time into our second. We were able to bump it up 27 seconds there, so decent, nice little bump. I wonder if we'll be able to do the same thing here, or if maybe Dixie has been able to learn a little bit of the tendencies of Bazzy here and maybe be able to shut things down. This will be our last reset on this map. So 2 chases here left for Bazzy, and then it'll be Dixie's turn. All right. See both of them kind of starting away from the shack, so it'll take him just a second to get lined on up. How are you guys feeling so far over in chat that voted for Bazzy taking this thing home? Sitting at 4 minutes, 39 seconds thus far. Let me know. You guys feeling confident about your pick? If you pick Dixie, how are you feeling with the fact that you've held Bazzy to only 4 minutes and 39 seconds through 4 chases here? Also, let us know in the chat. Here we go, though. Starting off with our reset number 3. Here's our first chase. Quickly going to be moving to the window, using that light over here to be able to make it back towards the tractor. Going to be trying to play the mind game here. Trying to see if maybe you can wait out just the last second. We're going to be going ahead and doing a slow drop. However, Dixie knows a little bit better than that. Going to go ahead and actually was a little bit ahead of the curve. Able to get the M1 before we're able to move towards our main building here. This is going to be big. Actually moving around, showing some patience here. That Bazzy got the moves like Jagger. Able to make it back outside of main building. Might even be able to make it back to the... Oh, back through. Oh, man. Dixie playing some games here because you do need to make sure you vault with some assertiveness. Get over to that TNL because you don't have much else to work with, at least normally in this corner, unless you got a... Oh, this isn't the same TNL. We just reset the map. Good job, Q. First time. But we are going to see here, though, this is going to be the down at this point onto Bazzy. So our first of 2 chases on this reset of the map is started. But since we're starting in this corner, we haven't used any of the pallets over in this corner of the map. So we have some at our disposal if we want to use them here and then kind of, you know, move towards the middle and then towards the opposite corner would probably be our most ideal motion right now, I feel like. But we might also want to go back towards main. I'm not really sure what is on Bazzy's mind at the moment. We'll see, though. Already healed up, already got the lithe back, so we'll go ahead and get started with our last chase here for Bazzy. Seeing how much time we can get put up here on the table. Get stunned stupid, adding plus 10 wood across Dixie's face here, building some distance. However, Dixie is running the Blight, able to close that distance really quick here with those rushes. Able to make it to the pallet, though, at least after the M1. I'm not sure where we're going to be seeing a rotation to. I think we saw a very early throw of that pallet. So, oh, we did not see the early throw of the pallet. I'm mistaken. Again, I'm tripping up which map resets I'm thinking of. Now we're seeing the shack pallet thrown, though, very quickly. And we've got a decent amount available at our disposal. Back over here. Oh, I think Dixie might have caught... Oh, I don't know if we needed that rush there. I think the rush actually took longer than if we would have just ended up holding W and then going for the lunge. I think the lunge may have been able to hit before the actual pallet itself. This is a short wall jungle gym. Nice mind game here from Bazzy here. Able to get the hit through the window is Dixie, though. There's the down for chase number 6. So that is going to be our collective time here for Bazzi is going to be 6 minutes and 37 seconds after a map reset time of 1 minute and 58. So Dixie did do a little bit better of a job there in our third run back on the map of kind of learning a little bit of Bazzi's tendencies. Maybe was able to catch a mistake or two out and at least slow down our average time a little bit. But that does mean now we got to switch things up. 6 chases here for Dixie to try and match 6 minutes and 37 seconds. So what? Basically, you average a chase time of 1 minute and 7 seconds, you win here, chat. Or you average average of 1 minute and 6 and you find 2 extra seconds somewhere else. It's going to be interesting to see here. I'm sure Bazzi's probably feeling pretty confident with the 6:37. I mean, you know, Bazzi had even said, ideally, you know, your average time for both sides is around that minute mark. So being above that minute mark, gotta be feeling decent. Now the question is Bazzi going to be able to keep the pressure up on the killer side? Or is Dixie going to be able to come out here and serve the juice? It's crazy. It all comes down to this, chat. I gotta say, I've really been enjoying this the 1v1 tournament. I've liked it. We've seen multiple killers. Now we've had a couple of rounds where we've seen, you know, a majority pick of one killer or the other, but I think by seeing still just the different killers throughout the course of the tournament has definitely been very, very fun. I do think it all being decided with the Blight also makes sense. We were kind of talking about heading into like picks and bans, and I just felt like as far as when you look at the S tier killer pool, I think Blight gives us, as far as the spectators, like the most fun watching back and forth because you can kind of see the mind games. Oh, get stunned, stupid, says Dixie here. Plus 10 would immediately add it to the face here. Now going to be seeing though. Oh, not going to be able to make the hit before the window. But since we were kind of stuck and restricted in this jungle gym here, not able to get true value from the Lithe, if we're going to be quite honest here. Should be able to make it back towards Shaq here, though. Trying to cut him off is Bazzi. Bazzi's going to be able to get the first health state change. Now going to be moving towards the middle of the map. Might be able to see if maybe you can rotate around, cut off. I was going to say, if you should be able to try and see if you can cut off that actual pallet drop spot there, but unfortunately not going to be able to do so. Dixie at least giving themselves something to play around here. Nice mind game by SeaBass, unfortunately reaching just a little too early here. Double back by Dixie here, able to keep that separation, able to keep themselves up here vertical as well, prolonging this chase. There's the down though, as far as for chase number 1. Feel like Dixie's probably got to be feeling pretty good as far as for that first chase. We were able to make some moves there. Really, if you think about it, all we've really used is kind of this quadrant down here, right? This 4 to 6 area of the map. So if we're able to get out of the map and kind of rotate up more, towards that like, you know, 8 to 10, maybe try and get up towards main. Then also utilizing the middle of the map could be big. We're going to be seeing an early pallet throw here this time, though, from Dixie. It does look like, actually, Dixie's going to do just that, moving up through that area we were kind of talking about. I think heading towards main makes the most sense, especially because you have the option to move into the middle of the map if you need to. Now moving through the broken truck as well. It's kind of interesting to see that SeaBass was so quick to give away main this time, though, kind of doing as he was mentioning, trying to zone Dixie away from main if possible. Dixie is going to take the vault. Now working around. Oh. Yeah, actually going to make their way inside the main building itself. Able to give enough time, so they're able to get the fast vault here as well. But now that breakable wall is going to get taken care of, so that breaks down the strength of that main tile a little bit there as well when we talk about for Bazzi here. Going to be trying to play some mind games around the tile. There's the first hit for Bazzi onto Dixie. Dixie going to need to find a pallet space. There isn't really much around where we're at, so you're really going to try and make a mind game, try and make a little out of nothing here. Making their way towards main, not going to be able to make it towards the actual window itself. There is the down. That is our second run. That is our first official time going up onto the board here for Dixie. 2 minutes, 6 seconds. Match and pace here with Bazzi. I was, honestly kind of anticipating that this is, I shouldn't say kind of, I was definitely anticipating that this was going to be a close matchup. But when you talk about having the same exact time for the first pair of runs, you love to see it. Going to be interesting to see how our two competitors respond here. All right. So we figured the 2 minutes and 6 seconds for Bazzi was pretty well right around the average if you take into account the 158 and 236. So Dixie's still kind of going to want to maintain the pace that we're at. Actually, technically a little bit below the average, I guess, right? Because we were talking about 1 minute and 7 seconds, kind of needing to be where Dixie's at. But Dixie did maintain the pace of what SeaBass put up in the first reset of the map. Just does mean you're going to need to go on a little bit more of a juicer either in this map reset or the next just to make up for that little bit of extra time here. So, because the 233 is going to be tough to beat. I think that was a really impressive pair of runs that we had seen together there from Bazzi. But here's the start of chase number 3. I'm going to be seeing a really quick pallet throw. Oh, not going to be able to find the connection with this pallet. And we actually see a very quick pallet break. So Blight able to do what Blight does best, which is minimize the distance built by the survivor. Now moving into the middle of the map, there's, not the M1. Actually, just unfortunately getting the collision with the pallet instead. Now going to be seeing, though, the health state change. Instantly going to be seeing that pallet thrown here from Dixie. Injured once, can't take another health state change, or can't take another M1 without being on the ground. Oh, lost in the sauce though. Nice little play, kind of tucking it in the body, throwing the pallet early, gonna force the break. However, with that pallet being broken, really not much to deal with out here. Gonna have to try and force a mistake from Bazzi. I mean, we see trying to put themselves around some LOS blockers, but really doing a good job navigating those is Bazzi. There is the down. We are now halfway through our chases here for Dixie, so we're gonna be seeing a quick reset and time for chase number 4. Feel like we're this is definitely going to be close. I don't know if we're quite on pace to meet the 233 that Bazzi did in the second reset of the trial, or second reset of the map, I should say, which does mean they'll need to, if not be able to pick it up here in trial number 4, we'll need to pick it up in the third iteration of this map here. Quickly throwing this pallet, and this is going to be tough because they're rotating back towards more of a kind of a dead zone of the map, so almost kind of have to give away a free M1. I mean, trying to see if maybe you can force a tag onto one of those small trees or something. Not going to be the case. Now going to be throwing this pallet. Not going to be able to build too much distance off of it, though. Wasn't able to get the stun. At least going to be able to move into the main building itself here, though. And we are going to see Dixie quickly breaks away, trying to hold as much distance between them and Bazzi as possible. Bazzi, though, able to quickly find the down, and I feel like that is a very impressive down here from SeaBass. That should, I don't even know if that, I was gonna say meets the first iteration time. That's going to be 1 minute and 35 seconds. So that means here on this last reset of the map between these two chases, essentially you need 2 minutes and 57 seconds worth of some chase time. So you need to get cranking here. We need the juice from Dixie if that's going to be the case. Otherwise, we are going to be seeing the man, the myth, the legend, Bazzi themselves taking home the 1v1. And I don't know. I don't know if we'll be able to, if we're ever going to hear the end of it. If that's the case, I don't know. We'll have to. We'll see here. We're moving into chase number 5, though. 5 and 6, I should say. We're resetting the map for our last set of chases here. Should be interesting. I'm gonna be interested to see how Dixie responds here. I mean, we've seen Dixie in the past, earlier in the tournament, has been able to put up some juice rounds. But you know, it all comes down to this last iteration here. I remember Dixie had, I mean, a really strong semifinal performance as well. I mean, Bazzy's just been, I feel like Bazzy's just been showing up every round and just seems to have all the answers. Here we go, quickly finding an M1 this time in this chase, already causing an injury stay here on to Dixie. Dixie's going to be very quickly throwing this pallet, moving more towards the center of our map here. Of course, we've got a couple of filler pallets that we should be able to work around, but we've got Bazzy here getting a very quick down. Bazzy has shown up to play. Bazzy now on the verge of winning equilibrium here. Only needs one more very solid chase here. Going to be interested to see if they are going to be able to do just that, or if not, honestly, I'm here for it as well, because that means that Dixie goes on a super nutty run here, and I'm here for it. But more than likely going to be looking at our last chase here for equilibrium. While we're lining up for our last chase here in equilibrium, chat, let us know over there in chat over there on the right. Y'all like these 1v1 events? Should we do more of them? What do you guys think? I know I've been having an absolute blast, but here we are starting chase number 6 here for Dixie, trying to get a little bit out of nothing here, not working around a pallet or anything, literally just working around a rock. There's going to be the M1 though, unfortunately. That's going to be only one more health state change needed in order to end this chase here. Working around the short wall portion of the jungle gym. Working around, that's going to be the down. And that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. SeaBass taking home the victory here. 56 seconds for that third iteration of the map for Dixie. Really impressive on the killer side from Bazzy here in the 1v1. Bazzy, you gotta be feeling good after that,
yeah? Yeah.
No, but so that does do things up, Bazzy. Are we gonna be doing more of these in the future, you think?
Absolutely we will, yeah. Maybe not exactly like this, but yeah, we'll still be looking at these kind of events.
Because I know I had an absolute blast. Chat, I hope you guys had an absolute blast as well. I hope you guys, really enjoyed this. We have actually also got the start of our season here. What? Just a couple of days here now. 1, 2, 3, 4 days? Is that right? My math serving me right?
It is next Thursday, so that's 4 days. That's correct.
4 days. That's crazy. New season already. Well, I shouldn't say new season. First season for Dead by OCE, starting things up. So that should be exciting. If y'all are wanting to make sure you stay up to date and everything, we always have things posted in the Discord. I'm sure we'll have one of the mods or something slapped with that Discord link over there in chat. We really appreciate everyone coming out and checking out the events live. If you haven't already done so, down there in that bottom right hand corner, make sure you hit that follow button, turn those notifications on. That way you can catch us back here whenever we do pop live, not only over here for Dead by OCE, but also, this is the Dead by Esports channel. You can also pop in when we have some NA, EU events. I don't know, maybe you'll catch your boy over there, who knows. And whenever we have those events over there, but we'll be back Thursday. I think the Thursday game is 7 p.m. AES Sydney time, is that right?
That's correct, yep, 7 p.m.
Same times. We're going to be doing it all over again, starting things off. Bazzy, I know obviously you're back and forth in as far as with your competing too, but I appreciate you joining me on the desk. This was an absolute blast.
Yeah, no worries. This has been a pleasure to cast and to play and to organize.
And congratulations, obviously, for your victory. It should be much well deserved. You were juicing up and also did some pretty good job killing as well. So
Thanks, man. I'm just lucky that that you weren't playing in this tournament.
Oh, I don't know about me. I don't serve any juice. Oh, plus my no, not me. I would have been out early. Trust. Also, while we're talking about though, big shout out to our crew that always is working in the back. Really, the unsung heroes. We have the easy job. We get to just yell at you guys and talk about all the fun stuff going on in esports. The people working on the back end with all the stuff leading up to the event. Also, Lovo in the back actually doing the casting or doing the hosting as well. All the hard work. Again, we kind of have the easy stuff. And big shout out to all of you guys for coming up and hanging out with us. And big shout out to Dead by Esports.
If you ain't show something, you just don't wanna be me.